Hello ladies and gentlemen, it is Sweaty Zeus coming to you with another video. This time I wanted to showcase a really good weapon if you're planning on doing a intelligence and faith hybrid build. Honestly, this uh, is almost like a build video for the weapon because this is a very specific weapon. It's the Sword of Night and Flame. It was definitely, I think, the best weapon in the game. Uh, at the very beginning when the game was released. It has been patched and nerfed a little bit, but still very, very good. It's got two Ashes of War. Uh, you're first of all going to hold L2 to go into stance. That's the Night and Flame stance. And then R1 is going to basically be a Comet Azure. Short, you can't hold it. And then your R2 is a gigantic flame arc that really takes out everything in about like a, you know, your entire field of view in front of you, even things like kind of peripheral on the side. But I wanted to show this, and I need to show you my stats too because that does matter. So I do have a rune arc active, um, but I didn't upgrade my strength or dex at all because there's really no requirement on this. I think it's 10 for both. The requirement on intelligence and faith is in the 20s, I believe. I'm a little higher on intelligence because I'm also going to be casting intelligence with this build that I respect. And then the faith I'm going to increase as I go forward. So really, both Ashes of War, the L1, which is the beam, and the L2, which is the fire, they each scale independently off of the different stats. So you have strength, dex, and faith scaling on this weapon. Most of the scaling kind of sucks. You can see magic, we're getting 102 um, scaling damage added for 75 intelligence, and we're getting 74 for 35 less in faith. So basically, you're getting like 1 point for every level. So this weapon just really works really well based on where it's upgraded. There are weapons like that the scaling's not great, but just their base damage is going to be really good. So, it's 750 just with having these two talismans here active that are increasing it. Fire Scorpion Charm adds about 27, and then that one adds about, I guess, 60 something. So we're getting almost like 100 point increase between the two. So I do like using Ritual Sword Talisman though, because it gives you a flat 10% increase to all damage, as long as your health is maxed. So I talked about this in the walkthrough, but if you didn't see it, it's good at the beginning of the game to have this on if you're going to use it, because that will, even though you probably get it about a third of the way through the game, so that'd be when you use it. But it's really good because it'll slowly increase your health, and if you're not, if you don't have a big increase to get it back topped off, give it a second, especially when you're out exploring, and this will top you off pretty soon. And when you get it, even better, Taker's Cameo gives you HP after every enemy defeated. You could also use Assassin's Crimson Dagger to keep you topped off. But that's going to boost everything this does, from the Ashes of War to just the standard hits. Um, Also, we've got some spells going with this theme because the death spells are the ones that scale off intelligence and faith, or require intelligence and faith. You've got a couple options for your staff. So, Factual Life did a video on this, and I found the same thing. I've got Prince of Death staff all the way upgraded, plus 25, and you can see we're doing 325 scaling. It gives you A in both intelligence and faith, and it also boosts death sorceries. And then Carrion Regal, which is the best staff in the game, is got pure S in intelligence, nothing in faith, and it gets a little off strength and dex, but I think that just goes to the physical. Um, but you can see we're actually getting higher on that, 352 versus 325. So we're getting about 27 more. And even though we've got 40 points in faith and 75 intelligence, so this staff is really good for like late game. It would really be good in new game plus when you get up to like 60 in both stats. I think it'll pass this, but until then, this one's gonna reign supreme pretty much your whole entire game. No matter what you do, this spell's gonna outclass pretty much everything. You can also hold this in an offhand. Some people do that, like hold this in their left and then hold this in their right. So then they'll get the boost, but also get the better scaling. So that's up to you. I just wanted to show you that. I know it's about the weapon, but this is a really specific build, and a lot of people won't play as it. So I wanted to kind of go over that. So I'll show you real quick. I do have the seal on just so we can flame grant me strength and golden vow. You can see 770 a hit. We're at 976. You can see how far away it killed that oven arc. Another cool thing about this is it has the thrusting, which a lot of swords don't, since it's a straight sword. There's the one-handed, and then you've also got a two-handed thrust. I'm sorry, the two-hand is a swipe. I don't know what I was thinking there. And I will... There we go. But this one's good, of course. This one's good for clearing out mobs. I do actually really like it. A lot of people just use the R1, but I think the R2 is actually really underrated. You see, it's really easy to... But yeah, so whatever you put your points in is really the scaling. The weapon's not going to scale real great, but the Ashes of War is why you're using this weapon, really. I mean, it's fine to use as a regular weapon, but the Ash of War is what makes it so good. So another cool thing is if you're doing death, this only has faith requirement, no intelligence, but you have to carry a staff to do it. A Briars of Punishment, sends a line of those in front of you, and then there's the other one that does like a circle around you. And then these are the death spells. We've got Rancor Call, which sends out little skulls. And then we got the bigger version, Ancient Death Rancor. And they actually like explode and they're bigger, so I'll hit one of these guys with it. You can see they got really good tracking, and they go for a little while, so look at that, followed them all the way around the corner. So that is basically doing an intelligence faith hybrid and going over the Sword of Night and Flame. It's kind of its own little thing. You can use the Prince of Death staff. It's just like I said, from the Fextra Life video I watched where he talked about the build he had done for this weapon. He really didn't get the scaling um, beating the Carrion Regal Scepter with the Prince of Death Staff until he got to about, like level 200. So this is a stat hungry build. So, but once you get these pretty even, you can see at the bottom, boost Death Sorcery. This one's going to boost, I think it's a 10% from what he said, and I saw um, that'll give a 10% boost to Ancient Death Ranker and Tibia Summons and the other ones. So Tibia Summons kind of sucks, but it's cool looking. You basically summon 3 skeletons in, and they'll, chop whatever you're aiming at. So that is the Sword of Night and Flame. If you really like doing the Common Azure, that's why everyone uses it. It's really good. I would use the Magic Scorpion Charm as well. This one's going to boost the fire damage. It also boosts your overall damage on the weapon, but the Magic Scorpion Charm I think would probably be better. That's going to boost all your spells too. But it's I think it's a 8%. I can't remember. But it boosts all magic, even your weapon. And then you've also got this one, Graven Skull, which just boosts your actual, it would actually boost the sorceries coming out of our staff, but not the weapon. So this is, my prep playthrough. So this character, I kind of ran through a lot of stuff. I avoided Ronnie's quest, and so I don't have the Magic Scorpion, but I would use that with this if you are going to build it. But that's pretty much it. It's kind of a unique weapon. I think it's one that, when you get really, really high levels, it's really going to pay off. It's really powerful at the beginning of the game, but, even though the scaling sucks, you can put points in Faith and Dex and Strength, where a lot of weapons, they only really scale off one type of stat for each weapon. So let me know what you think. If you try it out, let me know how it is and how you like it. Real quick, you get which is the lesser one? You get Ranker Call in Stormvale, and you get Ancient Death Ranker in Liurnia. So the first one, Ranker Call, is going to be down in that area. I don't know where it is on the map, but where we fight the big like secret boss, where we went down to the bottom. There were some rats, and I forget what they're called, but it's like the big worm looking things that come out of the ground and do fire. But it was like down at the bottom, and there's a giant face by it, and then we climbed a real long ladder to get out of there. But it's down there. There's a beetle that's got the the spell down there before you get to him. The other one is covered in the walkthrough as well. They both are. It's going to be right here. There's a Grace nearby, Gatetown North. And there's going to be a Death Right Bird, which is the more upgraded, nastier Death Bird. And he's going to be like right here. And you get it for killing him. So if you want those, that's where those are. And then there's also an even better one. It's kind of like the third level of it. It's a little different though. It's like up here. There's another Death Bird. Somewhere up here, I think. And that's Consecrated Snowfield. And then it will drop that if you kill it. But there's also a right here, one of the walking mausoleums, but it's got like cannons all over it and shooting magic at you, so it's kind of a different one. But that pretty much sums up all the int, faith, death spells that you can do. There's a couple others that really suck. I didn't even focus on, like Fia's Death Mist, things like that, but I didn't really have any luck with those. So Anyways, there's the Sword of Night and Flame. If you got any questions, let me know. Please like and subscribe, and check out the walkthrough if you're needing help with anything. Have a good one.